Fire in Kiel leaves 25 residents without a home tonight.
And that includes a man who tells us how firefighters pulled him from a second-story window after he was unable to escape the smoke. Jason Zimmerman spoke with several victims today. He is live for us in Kiel with a first alert update. Jason.
Cammie, this was a scary incident for everybody living at the apartment complex here on Chicago Street. Residents tell me that the fire broke out just before 8 o'clock last night, and the smoke was so thick some people could not get out. As firefighters from Kiel and several neighboring communities responded, some residents were pleading for help, including Brian Herr, who called out from his second-story window, knowing his hallway wasn't an option.
The smoke was just so thick already. My eyes were starting to water, started coughing. Thought I just better come in and just yell for help then.
Herr was one of 5 residents taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Another was Chris Bingle, who says there wasn't much time to get out once he heard pounding on doors.
I heard somebody in the hallway yelling something, so I went out and looked, and there was a little bit of smoke coming out from some apartment somewhere. So I went back in, got a jacket and pants on, and ran outside, and there was a black smoke already.
The Red Cross is now working with residents who have no place to go, while some tell me they're staying with family. After getting out of the hospital, a lot of the victims are just grateful to be okay.
Something I never experienced before, and hopefully I never do again. It was kind of scary. I had a minor stroke a couple of years ago, and I wasn't sure if I was able to get out, but we made it. The firemen just kept reassuring that we got you, we got you. Not a good way to start the new year, that's for sure.
A first responder was also treated for a minor injury. The cause of the fire tonight remains under investigation. Reporting live in Kiel, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.